Tudick guy. Tudick.
Tim, can you please explain to me and
Yes.
anyone who might be watching this what's actually happening
Hi
here?
everyone, this is the Patreon pal. It's like the friend zone, but it's classier because you paid to be here.
Nice name.
Thank you. You like
Man,
that?
I really like that, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. So let me just turn these microphones up. They look very quiet to me. What we're here to do is just get some cues from you and have a little chit chat. And basically, I
my
just
God.
wanted to have a time, just us, none of the plebs, none of the serfs. Get rid of them. You know, the good, honest, hard-working people of this world. You, the consumer, the Patreon pal.
It's great. Well, I'm very excited. So I sort of
I'm
had a
pumped.
vague idea of what was going to happen, but having it spelled out in front of me, I'm really excited.
Great.
And it's great also to see you, because usually when we hang out, it's little snatches.
It is.
It's hard to get a sustained run on like we used to.
Yeah.
And so any moment, a fine one.
We've got some correspondence here from people who live online. Don't get freaked out.
No,
They
no,
just
no,
live
just-
online.
Okay, Jesus.
I don't know what we'll do for the names rule. But this first person, their name's been chopped off by the way that I've printed it, so it's quite fine anyway. Question, any chance of the dynamic duo getting back together for a new podcast? Life hasn't been the same since season 3 ended, without the good boys regularly cruising down the old information pipe. Overlooked and Undercooked was great, but sadly, all too brief.
It's a good question. It's a little hard to execute at the moment, if only because we, as previously detailed in our brief but enjoyable catch-up, moments together are too hard to find.
The time zones are a real fucker, you guys. I won't sugarcoat it. It's difficult. And yeah. But the guy and I are, we're always looking for trouble.
We're not
Sometimes we find it.
We're not without ambition. It's a matter of timing.
Yeah.
What a wishy-washy loser answer. Of
Is
course there'll
that
be more
There
content.
will be more stuff.
Eventually.
Rest assured.
It's irresistible.
But let's all enjoy season 1, Let's take
in
another
the
trip
interim, yeah.
around there, and we'll see. Christopher Brown says, hey, lads, any plans for joint US comedy gigs or even a tour? No plans, but, Guy lives there, and our plans tend to happen in the very last moments.
It's true. I do live there, and Tim, I'm sure, will come and visit at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I paid a lot of money to get over there.
To get that visa.
Yeah,
You got to use it.
I know.
You got to get it while it's hot.
Mm.
But as it stands, again, nothing. It's quite. It can be quite. Make for quite a grim experience. Outlining the current plans of nothing, but maybe someday.
Yeah, I think the short answer is no plans. Stay tuned. Which is kind of a similar. These answers we're giving are terrible for the first two.
Don't worry. I
So we
feel
really
like
gotta
things
pull
are
up
gonna
on the
things are
third.
gonna heat up.
The Brock says, y'all like milk daily?
There you go.
Thank God you're here. Brock, I was just, Guy and I were talking about you yesterday.
Do you
You're the
say
man.
Brox?
Why did it B-R-O-O-X?
I'd say Brooks.
Oh, Brooks, true.
Or Brooks.
Well, I think yesterday, what did I say when I was talking to you about it?
We were talking about it yesterday.
Bronx or something.
And your unrelenting commitment to providing us with our daily dose of calcium content.
Yeah, it's kept me on Twitter, is what it's done.
He said that in earnest. He told me. Sincere congratulations and thanks.
So the answer to the question, y'all like milk daily?
I love the milk daily. I don't drink it myself, but I love what you're doing. And anyone who hasn't seen, you can go back. Just click on the media tab underneath the Brooks's at THEBROOX Twitter account. And you will just see a never-ending tidal wave of white. That's right. Milk content, wall to wall, absolutely coated in this stuff.
For us.
And anyone who
Every
wants to wade on into those milky waters and have a fucking dip.
You've got such a weird relationship with milk, I feel. Because you're fine with it,
Yeah.
but then I'll pour myself a cold glass of that good stuff, and you're like, whoa, disgusting.
Yeah. It's not, unless you're growing, well, I used to say growing boy. But I suppose, I never noticed how much milk my sisters drank. But I suppose they were putting the stuff away. If you're a growing person,
If you're person growing,
if your
you're out
bones-
there
if-
person growing,
if them bones are stretching, they're
Yeah.
going to need more calcium. That's
Yeah.
more surface area. Put some fucking milk in you.
Yeah.
But once your bones have finished stretching, Stop drinking milk by it, like on its own. Stop drinking just a big cold pint glass of milk and fucking. It's not. I'm just not for it.
Why? It's good. It's good stuff. It's a conceptual nightmare, though.
Yeah. To think of it.
Yeah. Don't like to. And answer your question to me, because I'm one half of y'all. I love milk. I love it daily. I love it from you. I love it from coffee. It's good shit.
Can I read one?
Yeah. You
I-
read heaps, man.
I can read heaps actually. This one's from Tom. I'm sure you'll be okay with saying this. We've spoken with you before, Tom. Tom Katsumi, who says, if you could travel back in time to before each of the films were made and get 5 minutes with each director, what would you do? Convince them not to make the film? Try and improve it in some way? Get them to add an Easter egg to freak your future, now past, selves out? Make sure Paddy's not in the film as a form of temporal tattoo removal? Straight up murder? Thanks, boys. So 5 minutes with any of the three directors of the films we've done.
Not a lot of time.
No, but I'm sure, given what you know now, you'd make a serious impression.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be quite a wild power imbalance because I would know everything in the script and they wouldn't have an idea who I was or how I got there. So that'd be terrifying. Let's run him down. Adam Sandler.
No, that's Dennis Dugan.
Dennis Dugan.
Sandler's playing basketball just outside the window.
You're right. Dennis Dugan. Man, there's a big part of me that is kind of getting flashbacks to Back to the Future where I don't want to do anything because it might interrupt the whole flow of the universe that brought us to this question. And I like things as they are. They're good. They're not perfect, but they're good for me.
I would tell.
So if I talk to him and wig him out, maybe it'll butterfly effect. Everyone look it up.
Of course, it'll sliding doors. You'll kill a butterfly in a door.
Yeah. Because of your Fatal Destination. That's not what that franchise is called.
It's called Fatal Attraction, and it's all about what happens if you don't go to the coffee shop that day. But what I'm trying to say is, if I got into a room with Maximum Joseph, do you know what I'd say to him? 5 minutes before he directed We Are Friends, I'd say, "Hey, buddy, just relax. Like, just let everyone do their thing. Take it easy."
Do you think that stress is imbued in the like he's imbued the film with that tension, or is that just the sense you get as a first-time director working with the big dick Zac Efron?
It's probably a little column A and a little column B, but it's mostly just like, I think he loved that movie so much that he got kind of tight and like sort of. He just couldn't let the process take on its natural course and sort of maybe put his fingers everywhere. And his fingerprints were all over it, you know what I'm saying? And if he just maybe, took a slightly more hands-off approach, he might have created just a more enjoyable watch.
I really dig what you're saying, but let me put it to you. How do you get his attention within this 5 minute window to like sit him down for this big chat?
It's not hard to walk up to someone and tell them to relax. I mean,
you would look like an insane person. Hey Max, I don't have a lot of time. Relax, man. You've got to relax.
I wouldn't even tell him about the time travel thing. I just say, "Hey Max, look, from one man to another, take it easy," and I just walk away.
That's nice. That's quite nice. I don't think it would have any effect.
No.
It doesn't.
One of the least relaxing things that can happen to you is to be told to relax,
especially by a stranger.
Yeah.
Oof.
Take
stressful.
It easy. Hey,
talk about stressful.
Hey, don't worry, it might never happen.
What?
That's what you say to people. Hey, stop. When they look concerned, you go, "Hey, don't worry about it. Might not even happen."
I've never heard that because I'm so glad that no one in my life is that fucking thick.
Hey.
Might not happen, but it might. This is the whole reason we're here and stressed out. You know?
And what about Mattress Pikelet King? What would you say to him? 5 minutes.
Oh, of course.
Before Sex and the City 2.
It's a good question. I'd really want to impress upon him the fact that, whilst I know there's a big script and a lot of story to cover and people to look after, like, let's get the thing down to 145, ultimately. Yeah. So I'd need to do the math on how the sort of contours of the conversation would work ahead of time, do a bit of planning, but it's got to be just a little speech on length.
In the world of the question, it's not outlined whether or not it's sort of by chance or if it's like site specific, and you've got 5 minutes in a room to talk to them.
Yeah.
So I feel like in this instance, they have no context for why you're there, but you do have 5 minutes alone in a room with this person.
Oh. Well, maybe I would kill him. Yeah. I forgot the rules for a second, but sure.
There are windows.
Yep, that's fine.
And
I can
vents.
use the windows to kill him.
It's like it's you in a high rise. There are other people in the office buildings.
That's okay. I'll deal with it.
Wow. Took a U-turn there. In a perfect world, who are the other members of Neil and me plus 3? No restrictions, alive or dead. From Joe.
Joe, you're gonna have to refresh my memory on where that one came from. Is that a Brain Band thing?
I don't know.
Shit, man, we've
It's
got
definitely to do with Neil Breen, but I don't know who said what.
We've said it before and we'll say it again, but like, you know, this stuff, it spews forth, but there's no grabbing it. It's ethereal. You guys remember it because you listen to it, which is great, but we don't. We just say it and then put it on the internet.
Tim has a bad memory in the first instance.
I've stopped saying that now because I
Have
think
you?
it's reinforcing it. And
Nice.
I've gotten noticeably better at remembering people's names.
I'd like to walk back the thing I just said. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
That's
thanks.
great. I'm still bad with people's names and things I've said, specifically on the podcast.
Mhm.
So I barely remember it. But
But
let's just
let's
imagine
assume.
Neil and me plus 3 is Neil Breen, you, and 3 other people at a dinner party.
3 other Neils. Neil Young. I only had one. Damn it.
Neil Armstrong,
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal,
Done. Absolutely.
Neil Breen, Tim Batt, Neil Armstrong, Neil Young, and Shaquille O'Neal. What have you got to talk about?
That's a band. See this. Yeah, he's saying members of Neil and me plus 3.
Okay, well, you all have a dinner party before.
Shaq's on bass.
Yeah.
Neil Young is frontman, singer. Which means
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong, the astronaut,
Yeah.
is on rhythm guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play drums. And Neil Breen will be the composer, which sounds wild, but you can't let him near a stage. So we let him write the songs. And he's good at it. And he enjoys it.
You'd have a meal beforehand, of course, that Neil Breen would
Naturally.
cook. What would you like to see him whip together in the kitchen?
Risotto is what I want to see. Like a thick mushroom risotto.
Interesting.
Almost. Are we approaching ragu at that point? What's ragu? Is
Ragu's
ragu
like
more
it's
of a
got to be.
sauce?
It's a meat. Ragu's a meat.
Oh,
I think it's like a way of preparing meat within a sauce.
I retract my previous comment.
Because you can have a beef ragu or a duck ragu. I've always thought it's quite a classy word, and so I
Ragu.
assume it's quite a classy way to prepare meat. But I don't know. My 3 Neils.
That fucking that
seagull
black
sounds-
helicopter has been flying around every day for at least the last 6 months. We're in some sort of weird flight path.
I love
Very
that.
annoying.
I thought you were going to say that seagull sounds like a helicopter.
Yeah, that
If there
would've
was
been
a
good
seagull
too.
flying across the skyline at the same
Joe
time.
writes, in a perfect world. Oh, wait, that's the one we
Well, I
just
was
did.
going to give you my 3 Neils.
I'm so sorry. You go.
I would choose Gary Neville. If you rearrange some of the letters in Neville, it's Neil. He was a defender for the English football side.
Okay, okay.
It's hard to remember Neil's on the spot, actually. Isn't it
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neill, the
Oh,
comedian?
yeah, R.I.P. Bring him back for this band or dinner?
And then
Question mark?
Andrew O'Neill, he was just called Andrew Neil. He was the head boy of my school.
Oh,
Just
was
what-
he a good guy?
He was fine.
Yeah.
Didn't really make an impression.
Okay.
Nice enough
Even though he
guy.
was the head boy.
I'm just remembering with hindsight. It's like he was, just a nice enough guy. Worked hard. He was good at tennis,
Oh, yeah.
but not in a jockey way.
Okay.
It was from the country.
Tennis is all good. That's fine. I don't like your band of Neils. It's giving me
The heebie-jeebies.
yeah, not a good. I don't think there's a lot of unit cohesion among.
No, man, I really just
that
threw them
team.
together there.
Mm. Lauren writes, have you guys gained a lot of opportunities and or experiences because of the self-inflicted movie torture you put yourselves through? With the benefits, with the struggle? Hell yes, Lauren. Absolutely. Tons of opportunities.
Name 5.
Had the opportunity to watch Grown Ups 2 52 times. This is a huge opportunity. Nah, like going over to America. That's wild, man. You live there now, of course. It doesn't seem as
true.
as big in the rearview mirror.
I don't know if
awesome.
I don't know if we've spoken about this with anyone publicly, but we made a pilot for YouTube Red.
Yeah.
In America that went nowhere, but
Yeah.
we got to make it. We made a whole show ourselves.
Yeah. Not sure if we're... It's very grey as to whether we're allowed to talk about it or not. It was very much don't at a time, and then... But anyway, it got shit canned, so you'll never see it.
That was pretty good. We'll release it one day.
Yeah, one day.
That was sort of like a cheeky,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
a suggestive laugh.
A suggestive laugh.
We haven't actually spoken about it, but I was just letting you know we've got some really cool opportunities.
Yeah. Well,
I
would you
wouldn't-
say your move to New York City could have happened without the potty?
Absolutely not. Like it's been there for since 2015, 16,
14.
17, 18, 14.
Mm.
That's like 4.5 to 5 years. So
Oof.
that's a huge amount of time in which, our respective lives and careers have been chugging along. It's been a baseline. It's been great.
It has. As a comedian as well, no one knows who you fucking are. You need a thing. And
does help.
This has been amazing for that. Go to places like Melbourne and that, and they're like, listen to your podcast. It's like, that's crazy. You don't even live in my neighbourhood.
Because usually in New
Man.
Zealand, you have to hand deliver podcasts like VHS tapes, and so you've got a pretty limited amount of people who are going to hear them.
Ever been curious about where all the mini discs went when they faded out of obscurity and out of popularity into obscurity?
Hi,
New
am I.
Zealand.
Welcome to New Zealand, bitch.
Mini Discland.
Hope you bought your mini disc player. Would you be willing to do another director's commentary track in the future? Well, Robert, that would be dependent on us directing a film in the future. And while I think that's something Tim and I would both like to do and maybe aspire to do, somewhere down the line, it's quite a lot of trouble to go to before we can talk about the experience of making said film.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to do a director's commentary in the future?
Yeah, always. Because I always plan on making more movies. We've made such bona fide hits. I don't know, the director's commentaries are an interesting one. Because like when we were doing it for the Patreon watchers, I actually think people were more into the after watch episodes where our full attention was on each other. But I may have misread that. And it's important to mix it up every now and then. So yeah, we'll do some
Easily
more
done.
Dircoms. Make a special request for a Dircom. And please don't make it 5 hours, even though that would be funny for you, not for me.
Yeah.
Certainly not
But
for Guy.
you get a real unfurling at 5 hours.
Mm.
It's too much. Also, same writer. Fuck, marry, kill. Brady, Coffee Guy, Patty Schwartz.
Oh, this is a very good question.
Okay, well, you got to marry Patty Schwartz. You got to fuck Coffee Guy, and you just have to kill Brady.
Nope. Nah. Kill Patty Schwartz, marry Coffee Guy, fuck Brady. Lock it in.
You're going to leave Brady out there in the wild.
Yeah, because at least we'll have shared a moment of physical intimacy, or hopefully an entire evening of it, which I think would establish some sort of bond. So when he rises up, he'll kind of think twice about finishing me off. Plus, I'll have Coffee Guy at my disposal. May not sound like much, because it isn't.
You'll be married to Coffee Guy, and therefore Coffee Guy will be at your disposal.
Yeah. It's how marriage works, mate. Look it up. Jeez.
Man.
This guy.
I just get rid of him because I appreciate that you bonding with him means that he'd be more merciful towards you in the future. The fact that you visualize a future where you need to have good favor on his side suggests that he's a public menace and should be.
Yeah, 100%.
But you'd still fuck him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, only because, we got to play within the rules of this
But
infrastructure that we've set up.
one of the options is you can kill him.
Yeah, but I want to kill Patty Schwartz, just so I can say I have. I don't. I take that back, because that sounds like a real threat. We're just kidding, guys.
He's
We
the
love
only real
him.
one,
We
yeah.
bloody
We do
him.
love him. I tweet at him from time to time and usually get some sort of
Something?
engagement. Yeah. He still lurks around my tweets.
Max writes
I'm definitely going to go for a beer with that guy.
at some stage.
Yeah, and you'll be there too.
I hope so. If you could go back in time and watch the 3 movies in a different order, would you do it? And if so, which order?
Do you know, it would actually be impossible to do because Grown Ups 2 was like essentially the perfect movie to stumble into doing it with.
Yeah.
Sex and the City 2 is the logical like advancement or progression. Like you could
Yeah.
never start with Sex and the City 2. We wouldn't have made it through. And you couldn't have started with We Are Your Friends because it wouldn't have been interesting enough.
No.
So
yeah, we literally picked the perfect order. And just in terms of these three movies, I reckon it was definitely the right order. Imagine if we had started on Sex and the City too.
I can't. I remember.
It'd be a whole different thing.
I'm sure we've said this before, but remember when we were doing the final show for season 2 for Sex and the City 2, and we spoke about announcing that there was going to be a third season, and it was going to be Sex and the City 2.
Yeah, thought about that at length.
Can you imagine what your life would have been like if you had subjected yourself to 104 weeks of Sex and the City 2?
No good, man. Super duper no good.
You would have been a legend. Though.
We really, yeah, like we thought about it. I thought about it very seriously, just because, like, what would be a more absurd?
It was the funniest possible
thing to
decision,
do.
but also the most intimidating.
Yeah, you got to put some value on your own human life. Not too much. Don't get overblown, but you got to value your own mind just a tiny little bit, eh?
Sure do. And
So anyway, perfect order.
one more.
From Ingrid.
Did Guy move to the US for his own safety and sanity? How much of his decision had to do with knife-based and Tim-based fears?
This feels like a question for you.
But it doesn't.
Scared guy.
It doesn't address me directly, so it's
that's
actually
true.
written for you.
It is. Did Guy move to the US? Look. Here's the thing about Guy. He's got big wings. Big wings. And you got to let him fly. As to threats on his own safety and sanity with some sort of association with my knife skills, interest, I don't think the two things are related. But it's impossible to tell. You'd have to ask Guy, which you haven't done in the phrasing of this question.
The fears might not just be knife-based, and according to the question, they could also be Tim-based.
Yeah, true. Well, let's cut out the middleman here, Guy. Let's ask you.
I'm sorry, that's just not how the question reads.
Yeah, but I feel like the best way that I'll be able to answer this is if you can answer it, and then I'll know the answer.
Would that I could, Tim, but it's not my question to answer.
Ingrid, the answer is yes. Guy has become increasingly perplexed and scared by my attachment to my lovely sharp knives, and he decided, what is a culture similar enough to house me in my magnificent career? I'm off to the States. It doesn't mean he won't do well, because sometimes a little bit of knife fear is just the thing you need to, realize your goals and your ambitions in life. Don't you think?
No, I don't think knife fear is necessary to create ambition.
Not necessary, but I'm saying, sometimes it helps.
But it's not to be encouraged either.
Yeah, certainly not. And we don't. This has been the Patreon pal list. Thanks for being our pals on Patreon. We really appreciate it.
Quite a fun little thing to do, actually. How are you going, by the way?
I'm great. We're going to be making more fun little things for just our Patreon pals. So, hey, spread the word, everybody. I hope you're having a great day or night.
Yeah, or morning. You could have woken up and watched this in bed. I'll bet one of you is watching it on a phone.
Oh, you don't approve of that?
I do. I watched an episode of Big Mouth on my phone when I got home in bed last night.
Good.
Very funny.
Bye, everybody.
And it's a good sized screen, too.